we know how you love Wrex.
Oh, I love me some Wrex.
And this game, this loading screen gave you exactly what you wanted.
It did. All kinds of Wrex.
Hello, ladies and germs, and welcome to another edition of Arbitration Studios, running through the whole damn thing of Mass Effect, starting with number 1.
Shepard.
So, we were trying to force a while back the Wrex personal quest, and I didn't realize that you have to specifically ask for it.
Indeed.
Cry, Shepard. I've got some unfinished business with my family.
So you're a ghost. That's what you're saying.
Really?
Go on. Another thing is that off screen, while we were doing this, because Pinnacle Station is not interesting. It doesn't tell a story. It doesn't really do much. But I went ahead and did it off screen for 2 reasons.
What's so important about this?
One, I didn't want it clogging up our mission portfolio anymore. And 2, it gives us access to endgame equipment. And combined with a little trick I know on how to break the Citadel economy.
And I am all for breaking economies.
I have given everyone access to endgame, absolute top tier weapons, armor, and a few mods here and there, because getting the mods is actually really hard. Because it's all random number generator based.
Yeah.
Fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
Cool.
Tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Well,
You
Wrex,
got yourself a deal.
I want you there all the time.
But yeah, case in point, here's Lyra's top tier armor, which is which actually has a benefit that's not really detailed, in that when you're in a hostile environment, if it's a level 1 hostile environment and someone with this armor is with you, you're not on a timer anymore.
Nice.
And if you're on a level 2 hostile environment, the timer is a level 1 timer.
Nice.
So
those shields are freaky too.
But yeah, and she's got the Spectre pistol and the end game Omni tool and amp, and that is down the line. I mean, we already got Tali the
I love Tali's coloring.
The Colossus suit, but I upgraded her, and she's got the Spectre shotgun, Spectre handgun, and end game thing, and then Wrex.
Oh!
Wrex is looking like he just took parts from a Borg cube.
Damn, you sexy, Wrex.
And
Look at them thick thighs.
And yeah, his shotgun and his pistol both have explosive ammo now.
Ooh, ammo go boom.
Yes, so. Anyway, alright. Journal. Wrex, family armor.
Argos route.
Alright, and that is actually where Pinnacle Station is, if I remember right. And also where the, quote, Shepard's apartment is.
Oh, yeah. That whole DLC always felt like it was kind of like programming practice. You know, it just never felt... There's the upgrade of that later on is...
the Armax Arena in Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, with the apartment. That seems a much like it was that idea, but much more thought out and much more well programmed.
Well, plus it gave you an actual story.
Which is one of my, which to me is what DLC should be.
Oh wait, yeah, we're actually here too. Because, yeah, whoop, shit. Fuck that up.
I love exploring in these games. I really do.
Because, yeah, Argus Row. And I think it's here. I think it's here. I remember it being an ice world. So...
Give me some of that sweet, sweet Wrex.
And... Oh... Yeah, Wrex and Tally.
Wrex and Tally. Those are my go-to. I love the interaction.
Someone to break stuff, someone to hack shit.
Well, I love the interactions between the two.
Because it is seriously like a pissed off drunk uncle and then Wrex.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Wrex brings the sexy.
Tally's got some childbirthing hips. So.
She does. I mean, look, I go both ways, so I can like Tally as much as I like Wrex.
I don't know if Wrex is going any other way but Krogan.
Hey.
Honestly, but,
Hey, you know what? Don't piss on my dreams.
I'm just saying, that is not a way discernible from anything. So.
I know. Again, we have some driving around.
Tooling.
Which, to me, I don't know why they ever removed this from the series. This was one of the best parts of it.
They added it back in Andromeda.
They did, and I loved that they did.
I just wish that it had a tank gun like in it.
Yeah. That was my...
Guys, you have rifles and I have a tank.
I love that coloring on that armor. Sweet.
Oh, nope. Let's see here. Yep, shotgun it up, kids.
This is the place. My armor's here somewhere.
Do you feel it in your quad?
Bet he does.
It always struck me as weird that the Krogan are this, great fighting race. I don't want to say warrior, although they do try sometimes. But, it's this great race of murder machines, and yet they're clearly a prey species.
You think?
Look at their eyes.
Side of their head?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, their eyes are offset from the center. They're not forward-facing.
Really? I hadn't noticed that. I had not noticed that at all.
Skadoosh.
Although they were artificially raised up, were they not?
Not entirely. That was more culture and technology. That wasn't. That wasn't. I'm sure there was some genetic manipulation here and there.
Although, that being said, later on when you get to their home planet and you see what's on their home planet, I can understand why a prey species would have developed the way that they did. Because what's preying on them is...
Everything!
Sandworms. Sandworms are preying on them. That's, And they're sandworms without the added bonus of creating melange.
The spice melange. Everyone has an internal monologue. And the best internal monologue is literally some fat British dude just ogling a shirtless Sting for slightly too long.
I'm thinking that Jason Momoa will not have an internal monologue in the new one.
Because the only person who says exactly what they mean is Duncan goddamn Idaho.
Also because none of us deserve a Jason Momoa internal monologue.
Jason Momoa, what are you thinking? Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would like to know what Jason Momoa is thinking. Starting to like me, Wrex? Oh, I'm beyond starting to like you.
Yeah, just please don't break any bones.
I'm afraid Wrex is going to take me to HR at the end of this. Shepard makes me feel uncomfortable. You make me feel uncomfortable.
Wait. Here's God bless glitches.
This is how Krogan ride.
Wrex is manning the turret.
Oh, that is awesome. I've never seen that glitch. I've seen a lot of glitches with these games. And honestly, these games being as graphically intense as they are, it is neither surprising nor really bothersome that there are as many glitches with these games as there are. What is surprising is that there aren't more.
I am not Wrex, and I will aim this turret manually. Oh, God. Okay.
That's not the kind of writing I wanted Wrex to be doing, but we'll take it.
Okay, so we have unfinished business with Cerberus, and then we've got Novaria. What should we do next?
Have we done the ice planet with the?
That's Novaria.
That's Novaria. Okay. Let's go kill Cerberus because I hate Cerberus.
All right, Yangja system.
Although that being said, anything that has Martin Sheen in it can't be too bad.
Well, yeah, but Martin Sheen was that's the next game.
Yeah. Sorry, we're doing some. That was some foreshadowing, everybody.
Crap! I forgot the star cluster.
That's foreshadowing for a game that's been out for what?
Voyager cluster.
15 years.
Something like
It's something like that. Which, by the way, still holds up.
Yes, it does.
Still holds up.
Actually, Mass Effect 2 is probably my favorite of the three.
I am convinced that Mass Effect 2 is quite possibly the closest thing to the perfect game ever made. As far as gameplay, story, the whole 9 yards. The first one had an epicness to it, but the second one had a intimacy that I appreciate, that I really loved.
Well, and my problem with this first game is that the mechanics are just so clunky. It nails the story.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
But it's just not a.
Yeah. The mechanics are just kind of,
There.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think a lot of people, and I heard a lot of complaints about when they changed the mechanics. A little like when they changed the mechanics for Dragon Age. My whole take on that is that I think a lot of times with role-playing games and with games in general, people, when they first play it, they get to know the mechanics, and once they know the mechanics, they're like, oh, I like the mechanics, and then you introduce something new, and people automatically are like, I hate it, because it's new. Because new is bad. And in my opinion, the mechanics change between 1 and 2 was wonderful, and the mechanics change between 2 and 3 was wonderful.
Yeah, my whole problem with Dragon Age 2 was the fact that it was a radical shift in the scale of the story. It was, was it more intimate? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't a... But that was the problem, is that, when you're doing high fantasy, it's supposed to be individuals in a larger-than-life thing, and the story of Dragon Age 2, the story of Kirkwall was the name of the town?
Yeah, Kirkwall.
Wasn't larger than life. It was the story of Newark, New Jersey.
I think Kirkwall is a cleaner. But that being said, I think they attempted with Dragon Age 2 what they did with Mass Effect 2, which is to make a more intimate game, a game that was more character driven, was more driven by the individuals and less by the circumstances. And it's a perfect example of failure, in my opinion. Like of they're attempting something and failed. That being said, I actually liked Dragon Age 2 as much, if not more so, than I liked Dragon Age 1. Hey, look, it is what it is, and people like what they like, and I'm one of the few people that has, Dragon Age 2 is a good game, in my opinion. Dragon Age 2 is a enjoyable game. It has some really neat factors into it. I think the DLC, which sets up Dragon Age 3, is awesome. And I feel like, honestly, there are points when I'm playing that game that I feel like the whole game is really just set up for the DLC.
And that's not a good way to do it, unfortunately. A primary game absolutely has to stand on its own. That was one of the you've heard me preach the gospel of Fallout over and over, and as much fun as Fallout 4 was mechanically, the fact of the matter is that it was not a fun, interesting, or particularly logical story, because you literally have to slap around everyone in the game saying, what the hell are you even doing?
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish? Because you're going about it the ass backwards wrong way. There's no rhyme or reason why anyone is doing anything. And yet, the two DLC stories there, both Far Harbor, which since you're from the East Coast, it takes place on Mount Desert Island, Maine. The entire island, too, which I can't wait to go on vacation and take that tour. But, and then Nuka World, which, hey, a Coca-Cola themed Disney World. have that laugh.
Well,
but those two stories were better than Fallout 4, and that's not what you're supposed to do. There's, DLC is supposed to enhance the base game.
no, and honestly, when you look at it, it, in my opinion, shows off the success of Mass Effect as a series, in that the sequel games just keep getting better. And the DLC is, all the DLC, with the exception of DLC in the first one, which I think they hadn't really figured out what they were doing. And a lot of the DLC that was released for the first one, I feel like, was, hey, this was some programming junk we were working on. We're just going to release it just to give it to you, just to put it out there. Whereas I think the stuff that they did for later on games all had a point, all had a place within the story. And so...
that's the other kind of DLC that I think works is, like early alpha story writing.
Yeah.
That they just that they refine enough to make releasable and make, because, alpha gameplay and alpha story writing is very short.
Yeah. No,
but when you're doing tech demo stuff like Pinnacle Station here, that's not it. Because that's not refinement. That's
just, they just handed. They just said, hey, we have this, here it is. It doesn't really add to the game, it doesn't really take from the game, it just is what it is. But I think later on in the series, a little bit in 2, but definitely in 3, the DLC becomes an integral story. Like it's more story. It's more of the same. It's more of what we want. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
But I think the DLC for this.
Oh.
Ooh, where you have the, where you have to save the asteroid, where you have to stop the asteroid. I think that is that's a wonderful DLC that works pretty well. I had no qualms about, honestly, and in pointing out stuff that I think could be done better. They're not complaints per se.
It's not a, hey, by not doing it this way, it's a slap in the face to you. I hate that phrase from fans. The whole, this is a slap in the... no, it's not. First off, people engaged in game production do so in good faith, always, because they want to release a product that people love.
Yeah.
If you are...
EA, look, EA the company may be toxic as shit, but the people actually making the games want to produce a good product. Mm-hmm. It's not EA making those games, it's EA. EA is the business, kind of conglomerate. So for a lot of times, even if something's, I don't look at EA or THQ. I'm looking at the people that actually made it.
Yeah, the sub-studio.
I'm looking at BioWare. I'm looking at, whatever the sub-studio is. And those are the guys that are putting the work in. Those are the guys that are putting the hours in. Those are the guys who are designing this stuff. And I think that, honestly, they do so with the intent of making a game that people love. Sometimes they fall short. Where, I think a lot of people would say that, what is it, Dragon Age 2 fell short. But I think that ultimately...
And there's our Admiral.
Damn it. You're absolutely right. They do things in good faith. They want to produce a good product. And fans can just be really toxic.
Mm-hmm. Really can be. It's kind of a... It's what irritates me is fans are like... Fan base can be just as bad as anything a producer does.
Well, it's personally why I feel like this series kind of and it didn't die. It's on hiatus or it's because the company still insists that it's not dead, that they're going to do something with it. But they try to do something new, and it's always the same. They try to do something new and give the fans something new to bite into, something new to experience. And the fans shit on it because they are toxic. And because people don't know how to make I statements anymore. And people are like, well, that's just my opinion. Yeah, it's your opinion if you make an I statement. Mm-hmm. If you say, I think that this is... whatever you think it is, that's an opinion. If you just flat out say, this is trash, well, now you're insisting that the reality is what your opinion is. And that's not necessarily a thing, and that just... honestly,
that's not how any of this works.
It honestly sets up a situation where the producers and the makers have no encouragement to give us a property that we want to play.
Well, and then people like to point out things like, well, what about all the behind the scenes shit about how they kept trying to do things with the game and it wouldn't work, so they had to cobble something together to meet deadline. Well, first off, yes, you just pointed it out, that they were trying something different and it did not work. Now, the question becomes, should they have cobbled a game together in Mass Effect Andromeda, which was a perfectly serviceable game, and it was a perfectly serviceable Mass Effect game. It just fell short of the frankly unrealistic expectations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I liken it to the production of Alien 3.
Yeah.
Alien 3, taken in a vacuum, is a perfectly serviceable Alien movie. And don't get me wrong, I am not justifying any of the behind-the-scenes nonsense that
Right.
fucked it comparable to the relatively easygoing that Ridley Scott had in producing the original Alien.
Yeah.
And let's keep in mind that James Cameron, Aliens was his second movie ever, and it was his first major studio production. The Terminator was damn near an indie film.
And honestly, both of them, those two, much like Mass Effect 1 and 2, and ultimately I think 3 as well, stand as their own as amazing sci-fi properties that just go above and beyond what you would expect for sci-fi and elevate what on first blush is it would be B movie or B entertainment, and yet elevates it to something else.
The Alien series is Oscar nominated. Its Oscar nominations are the only thing that, and it was only, actually I think only Aliens got any Oscar nods. Sigourney Weaver got a Best Actress nod for that.
I believe so.
And there was some technical Oscars for it as well, because the Academy is loath to hand out science fiction any sort of recognition.
Well, it's because they look down so down on science fiction. And again, we're playing this and Mass Effect, and to bring it back around to Mass Effect, I myself put off playing this for a long time for various reasons. One being, there really hasn't been a lot of great science fiction properties that tell a new story or tell a story that I haven't heard, or do something in a interesting manner that aren't Star Trek, Star Wars, that sort of thing. And so I had put off playing this because and then when I played it I was like, oh, this is epic. The storytelling is movie level storytelling, although I'm a firm believer that you cannot make a good movie out of this.
Well, it's
or a movie that's going to be popular, I should say.
Yeah, the Mass Effect series, when you come down to the story bits, is sci-fi original movie complete with James Callis levels of writing.
True. And of course...
and James Callis trying to be a base, no less.
Yeah, and we would have to find somewhere to stick Michael Shanks. Sci-Fi Channel being the Sci-Fi Channel.
This is... There are some aspects of this, I always love to use this as an analog. There are some aspects to Mass Effect that I think are below the quality of the sci-fi original movie Mansquito.
There are. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think the main storyline is incredible and becomes even better as you go forward. But I think a lot of the side story and whatnot, even some of the character bits are
Mansquito.
or Sharknado.
What was the name of the actor that played Jonas Quinn for one season?
Oh, yeah.
He was the Michael Shanks replacement that I liked, but no one else. Cord Nemec, yeah.
Cord Nemec, yeah. I loved him. I think he would have been great if he'd been allowed to stay on the show. And have, I mean, look, it was so hinted at, and of course we're going off track into Stargate territory, which we're both fans of, so sorry about this, but I think they should have brought, Michael Shanks wanted to come back, fine, you get to come back, but you're going to go beyond Atlantis, and we're going to leave Corin right where he's at, because, gosh darn it, he's fun. And the fish out of water thing just wasn't working with Teal'c anymore.
Well, because he spent 8 seasons and 10 in-universe years.
Yeah, absolutely. So in my opinion, him being human, but still like missing a lot of different. It was funny. It was fun. It was a great interaction with Artie. Richard Dean Anderson, and overall I liked the character and I liked the individual. Now, that being said, it's again, this wonderful sci-fi property, Stargate, wonderful sci-fi property, that few people get to hear about, that few people actually know about. I think the Mass Effect is massively popular, but I don't think it's as popular as I would like it to be, as I think it should be. But that being said,
it needs to be expanded to beyond the gaming sphere.
Yeah, but that being said, is my positive opinion of it that much different than people who shit all over Mass Effect 4? Because they don't like it, and they want everybody to know they don't like it. And I do like it, and I think everybody should know about its wonder.
So anyway, moving right along, we have finished the Cerberus quest line. That'll earn us a couple of mentions in Mass Effect 2, I'm sure.
Indeed.
So in the we are going to take a break then, and when we come back, we will be heading to Novaria in order to continue the main quest line after a whole lot of fapping about.
Fap.
So, with that, we're going to board the Normandy. We'll be seeing you, kids.
Deuces!